Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Talkin Sports. I'm one of your hosts, Miles Shield. This is my co-host.
I'm Andrew Volkman, everybody. How's it going?
Yeah, we're excited to be back for we hit episode number 15 because obviously number 14 was a big one for us. We had Hunter Wooler, the Colts safety, on with us last episode. Andrew, how was that?
That was a great episode, and I really encourage everyone to go check it out. It's a really good episode. We put a lot of work into
Yeah.
it, so I think you all should go check it out.
Yeah, it was fun to do. It was a great episode. Obviously, Hunter Wooler's a great guy, and we really enjoyed doing that. And he actually came to us with an idea that he should be a yearly guest on the show.
Kind of like how Tom Grossi, the Packers YouTuber, has Mark Murphy on his podcast every year. I would say that they
Yeah,
make
I
that work.
mean, yeah. So we're super excited to have him back for next year. Already counting down the days.
Let us know down in the comments if you encourage the idea of Hunter Wooler being a yearly guest on this show. Let us know down in the comments if you like it. If you dislike it, we hope you don't, but
Yeah.
let us know.
Yeah, and if any of fans want to come on the show, leave it in the comments, and maybe we'll get back to you, and you could be on the show.
Yeah, I mean, Hunter's a fan of the show, so I mean,
Yeah,
anyone could
hey,
be anyone
anyone
can
could
be
be
on
a
the show.
fan. Yeah.
Anyone can
So,
be a fan. Yeah, of course.
well, let's get right into it. Today we're talking about a few things. We're talking about the Brewers. We're talking about NBA free agency, NBA draft, trades going on in the NBA. So the NBA is really the big topic today. But for now, let's get Andrew's opinion on what's going on with the Brewers.
All right, so I'm kind of trying to get in this cycle of monthly Brewers updates. I don't want it to be like a weekly thing. I want it to be like a kind of a monthly thing. That things develop in the Brewers camp. So we got some big news on July 6th. With whenever you're watching this, we're or listening to this, I should say. We're recording this on the Saturday before. Brandon Woodruff will make his much anticipated return to Major League Baseball. It'll be his first start since I think September 23rd of 2023,
Wow.
and he has spent those last 2 years on shoulder surgery and surgery rehabilitation. Sorry, I couldn't speak there for a second. So really excited to see Big Woo back on the mound against the Marlins tomorrow. The Brewers did end up losing today's game on Saturday, 4-2 against the Marlins. So we're hoping to take 2 out of 3 in Miami. Some other news: Garrett Mitchell will unfortunately miss the rest of the 2025 season due to left shoulder surgery. That is the same shoulder he hurt back in 2023 and had surgery on there. So he injured himself diving back into first in the AAA affiliate Nashville Sounds in a rehab game. So it's really sad to see. It's been a pretty big theme with the Brewers this year. A lot of players go down to Nashville to, I guess, get rehab games in, and they always get hurt. Brandon Woodruff got hurt
Hmm.
in the elbow, got hit in the elbow, got hit somewhere else too. I think he sprained his knee or sprained his ankle there. And then Garrett Mitchell hurts himself going back into first. And so pretty common theme. So heading into the trade deadline though, I think me and Miles can agree that the Brewers need a little bit of outfield depth. Yes, Jackson Churio, Sal Frelick, and Isaac Collins have kind of picked up the slack, and you have Daz Cameron, Drew Obbins in there kind of getting some playing time, but they do need to prioritize an everyday outfielder. So, and we both have had a guy on our radar, and a guy that's on a pretty pitiful MLB team who also is in a Central Division, just not in the NL Central. Miles, we can both agree the Brewers need to go and try to target Luis Luis Robert Jr. So we both agree
Yeah.
he's on a super cheap contract, $12 million over the next couple seasons. And I say 12 million, you're thinking, oh, that's a lot of money. My friends, the market has changed. You can see guys like Garrett Mitchell. Honestly, when he hits free agency, if he can stay healthy, Garrett Mitchell might want to make like $15 million a year if he puts up numbers like he did last year in the second half. But Miles, Luis Robert Jr., guy the Brewers should target.
Yeah, he's a powerful bat. He's got a powerful bat. I'm
Yeah.
super I'd be super excited if we could get him in Milwaukee because number one, I think Milwaukee's just a great place to go to really rejuvenate your career,
Yeah.
really get it going, being the underrated guy or, whatever, bringing him in, I think we could turn him in to an even better player than he already is. He has been struggling lately. But here's the thing, I think hitting wise, he can fill the gap left by Willie Adames.
Yeah.
I see similar hitting with those two, and then he also has very good fielding. We put him in the outfield, give Isaac Collins, who is doing good, but me personally, I would rather have Louis Bob in
Yeah.
the outfield.
Then now that does beg the question, when Garrett Mitchell does come back next year, hopefully, and we have quite a couple years left on Garrett Mitchell with team control. Louis Bob's got contract years for I think another 3-4 years. Like
I'm
who gets kicked to the curb there? Because
Garrett Mitchell.
really Garrett Mitchell gets kicked to the
You
curb.
don't think Louis Bob deserves to be the guy?
I think like if the Brewers do bring in Luis Robert Jr., I feel like what he definitely does deserve to be a starter, but like it's the question of who gets pushed out. Does like Sal Frelick's been playing really well this year.
Right, it's not gonna be Sal.
No, Churrio's obviously the franchise cornerstone. Yelich is
Right,
the DH.
right.
Like you're gonna have
So
basically four pretty good outfielders. Like what do you?
right. So what's wrong with the four pretty good outfielders, right? I don't think you need to worry about what's going on because obviously those four pretty good outfielders are going to get hurt at certain points, which is where you bring in a guys like Isaac Collins or Garrett Mitchell or whatever.
Yeah,
But I don't think we need to be really worried about playing time because this isn't like rec baseball
no,
where, everyone gets equal playing time. This is the MLB where we're going to play to win.
yeah.
And I think Louis Bob would push us to the spot where we need to be.
Yeah. Another guy I'm looking at is Randall Grichuk. I think he's currently now on the Diamondbacks, and he's a veteran outfielder. I think currently he's on an expiring contract, and the Diamondbacks haven't been playing that good. And I feel like Randall Grichuk, he's not an everyday player anymore. He definitely is not an everyday player. I feel like Randall Grichuk would be able to kind of fill a hole and kind of be, that guy to, I don't know, pick up some slack. Say Isaac Collins starts to struggle, you don't want to turn to Drew Ovens or a guy like Daz Cameron, who really Daz Cameron, no disrespect to him, but really isn't the level of a Garrett Mitchell or a Luis Robert Jr. So the Brewers do need to go forward in the trade deadline and prioritize outfield depth because Drew Ovens, it really isn't it. So maybe we can bring in someone like a Mark Canna, a couple years
No.
ago.
Oh gosh.
Not like I'm not saying like
No, but I want a player who's going to make an impact.
and I think look at Mark Canna a couple years ago. He did make a little impact.
A little impact, right? You
He
throw a
picked
pebble on a lake, right? It's obviously going to make a little ripple. But
yeah,
you throw a boulder, it's going to make waves. And I think that there's a chance we can get Louis Bob to be that boulder.
yeah. Either way, the Brewers need to prioritize outfield depth, and I would love to get Luis Robert Jr. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like with the plethora of outfield weapons we have, I feel like we can afford to, you know, acquire someone like a Mark Hanna, an old vet, maybe not on the type of contract he had, but more so a guy that is
A,
kind of Mark Hanna's play
a
style.
pebble.
A veteran. I think the Brewers should prioritize a veteran outfielder who can kind of pick up the slack, whether with the bat or with the defense. I do.
Right.
I would. Don't get me wrong. I would love to have Louis Bob. I would love to have Luis Robert Jr.
Yeah.
I feel like the Brewers in that direction though would be insane to get Luis Robert Jr. And I really have a hard time thinking they would want to pick up his contract. 'Cause
Right.
His
Well,
contract is a little bit.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. The Brewers never make moves. We can only
No.
speculate. Now, there is a team in Milwaukee in a different sport who makes moves. Am I right?
Yeah.
And there's a move that we want them to make. So can we transition to them, please?
Yeah.
Because I really want to talk about them.
Okay. Final closing notes on the Brewers. Just need to prioritize outfield depth. Whether that be with Luis Robert Jr. or another veteran, we'll see. But Garrett Mitchell, Connor Thomas, out for the rest of the season. Brandon Woodruff returning on July 6th, so much anticipated return for Brandon Woodruff. Well, moving on, NBA draft.
Ah, fine. I guess we can save the Milwaukee Bucks for later. All right,
Right.
Andrew. Let's talk about the
I promise
draft.
this will be quick because the NBA draft was not very exciting. Not gonna lie,
It was boring.
there was a lot of things in place already, and there wasn't a lot to change. But the real big highlight, I guess, whether it be scripted or not, Cooper Flag going to the Mavericks, #1 overall. I think it's a great pick. Cooper Flag, he's young, seems like a great guy. Doesn't seem like a guy that wants to starve for attention, unlike a certain Jazz player. got picked at number 5. Either way, we'll get back to Cooper Flagg. Seems like a great guy, great player. We watched him tear it up with Duke this past season in his freshman season. I can only expect good things from Cooper Flagg and the Mavericks this year. What do you think, Miles?
I think there's talks, everyone does. Are these contenders or are these fakes, right? Are they pretending to be contenders? Pretenders or contenders? Let's do that. Andrew, I'm going to give you a few teams here, all right?
Yeah,
First
for sure.
team, since we're talking about them, Mavericks. Pretender or contender?
Ooh, that's tough. Because they got Anthony Davis, they just got Cooper Flagg, they still got Kyrie, even though he's gonna be hurt. That's tough. That's kind of tough. I think they're kind of the pretenders. They're pretenders,
I would agree.
They're pretenders. That's not a team that you think is gonna go and win the finals. I don't think they're a team because with Anthony Davis, yes, he's good. I don't think you can count on Anthony Davis solely, especially not Anthony Davis solely to carry a team to the championship.
Well, if they make a LeBron trade, because if you haven't seen, the Mavericks have came out and said that they are willing to trade for LeBron. They are willing to give up a lot to get LeBron. If they get LeBron, say they don't give up anyone too big, would you say they're still pretenders?
I think at that point, though, I would have to say they are going to be contenders at that point because you got LeBron, and
Yeah.
LeBron as a player, as a person, as a GM, I think LeBron is definitely a contender.
Yeah.
And when he gets to the Mavericks, yeah, the Mavericks are going to be contenders with AD, Cooper Flagg, LeBron, Kyrie when he gets back eventually. I think all these guys. I think the Mavericks will be contenders. Getting back to the draft, like for 1 second.
Yes. But
All
I
right.
have some more pretender contenders for
Yeah,
you.
yes. Jazz. Why don't we talk about the Jazz?
All right.
Jazz? Ace Bailey. He got drafted number 5. He's making a humongous stink out of it.
Mm-hmm.
He is acting like a spoiled little kid.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
so I can only feel for Jazz fans. Ace Bailey. He's a great player,
Yeah.
but I'm not loving the personality so far.
But they did get Walter Clayton Jr.
They did get Walter Clayton Jr.
I love that guy.
I do love him.
Didn't they get John Tonje from the Badgers?
I think they did. I think they did.
They had a good draft.
They had a solid draft. I'll say that.
They did trade Colin Sexton though.
They did trade Colin Sexton though, but they do have Walker Kessler.
Yep.
So
Laurie Marketing.
Lowry Markkinen. Sorry, we're gonna say it different ways. Lowry Markkinen for me.
Okay,
Laurie, we'll say whatever.
We'll do that.
So
all right, pretenders, contenders. Utah Jazz.
Yeah, they're definitely pretenders. I don't see that team contending. They have been so bad the last couple years. I really
I don't even see them being pretenders. I don't even think I don't think they're pretending to be contenders. I think they're pretending to be rebuilders.
Yeah, because honestly, they're just hoarding first round picks.
Yeah, when are they gonna actually use them?
I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah, okay, let's keep going.
One final note or another note. Con Knuppel goes number 4 to Charlotte, Wisconsin boy. Shout out to Con Knuppel and the Knuppel family. That's a basketball family,
Yeah.
They got
they're
a bunch of brothers. They're all going to be going into college soon.
Yeah.
Wisconsin players, or not Wisconsin players, they're from Wisconsin, I should say. From Wisconsin, but shout out to Con Knuppel. Hornets, contenders or contenders?
I think they're in the same spot as the Jazz. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, say you get LaMelo back healthy. Say you get LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, and Brandon Miller all healthy, right?
Yeah.
Would they be contenders?
I really don't know.
I'd be shocked if they would be.
Yeah.
Maybe they can be a dark horse, but
dark horse like wild card team.
LaMelo's not gonna stay healthy.
Not wild card, excuse me, like a dark horse 8.
Right, LaMelo's not gonna stay healthy. Brandon Miller probably won't stay healthy. Like, I would be very surprised if they made anything.
And then final team I want to talk about here is Brooklyn Nets, who made 3 first-round picks this year, and they drafted 2 point guards and a forward. And now I'm gonna just look over at my phone and pull up who they selected real quick.
Gosh, the Nets.
Yeah.
I don't like any of the Nets picks. I'm not gonna lie. You got 3 first-round picks and you got a lot of money. This is what I would have done as the GM. I would have went out and I would have got somebody big, or I would have moved up to the top 3. I would have gotten a guy like VJ Edgecombe. I would have got a guy like Ace Bailey. Because Ace Bailey did want to go to the Nets.
They want to go to the Nets.
He was trying to plummet his draft stock so then he would fall to a team he wanted to go, which is the weirdest thing.
Well, because I think, yeah, he saw that he wasn't going to go number one. I think he was a little delusional with thinking that maybe I have a chance to go number one overall.
Yeah, I think he's delusional in general.
Yeah. So their first pick at number 8 was Igor Demin, who out of BYU.
No, he's not going to be good.
I'm pretty sure he did play, or he's from Europe, I should say. He came over from Europe and went to college. It, ESPN says that he's a good passer, but they also says that he struggled with turnovers.
Yeah,
He's 6'8", he's 199 pounds, a little skinny. He kind of matches, a Ben Simmons build,
he's not going to be good. I'm calling it now.
Yeah.
No, I don't think the Nets drafted any stars.
He's not a really particularly great shooter. And besides that, like maybe passing, he's got average explosiveness. It doesn't look like a great pick. Don't look like a great pick, but maybe the Nets will get something out of him. Then you got Nolan, excuse me, I might butcher this name. Traore. That's the English pronunciation, I'm guessing. He's a guard from France. He is 6'3", though. 6'3". But overall, though, there's not...
How many European guys are they going to take?
I don't know. But he's a reasonably sized guard. He's got a bit of burst, but another passing creativity. Like, he doesn't have a lot of good shooting, struggles with finishing.
Passing, like, who do the Nets have that they can pass to?
I mean, at this point, with maybe not having Cam Thomas back, like, not a lot,
Yeah, because Cam Thomas could go to the Bucks. Woo woo.
We'll get to that more later, but yeah, so far not really good for the Nets. And then Ben Sarif from Israel, another guard, but this time it's 6'6",
international,
199 pounds from Israel. He's got good scoring at least. This is finally a guard that doesn't have good passing only, but inconsistent perimeter shooting, average physical abilities. Like he's 199 pounds at 6'6".
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't sound like a guy. He does not sound like a guard. Does not sound like a guard. Does not sound like a good forward. He's just really trying to push that, yes, I'm a guard.
Yeah. Are we done with the NBA draft?
Final thing, the Bucks made an actual draft pick. I know, shocking, right? So the Bucks in the second round with the 47th overall pick selected a man from Serbia, excuse me. I'm not going to even attempt. I'm sorry, I'm not going to attempt to say his name because you want to like look at that name, Miles, real quick.
Oh, I could say it.
You could say it.
Bogalajob Marjanovic.
Marjanovic?
Yeah.
So is that or Markovic? Did you miss the K?
I think it's a silent K.
Silent K. Sorry to excuse me. I don't want to even attempt.
Sorry to the Bucks rookie.
Yeah, sorry, from Serbia. But he's 6'11", 213 pounds. Just looking at some of his strengths and weaknesses, he looks like a smaller Brook Lopez.
Yeah.
Without the shooting. Looks like he's a good rebounder, good on defense. There you go. My little recap of the NBA draft. Overall, really boring draft. Not really many big surprises. Let's move on to Miles' segment.
All right. I'm so excited because the Bucks, the Milwaukee Bucks, they've been trying to surround Giannis with the guys to win pretty much since they got eliminated from the playoffs the year after their championship win.
2022.
Right. So they made that trade that they gave up pretty much their entire future of their franchise for Damian Lillard, who, don't get me wrong, Dame Lillard is one of the greatest three-point shooters of all time.
Yeah.
Dame Lillard is the greatest Portland Trailblazer of all time.
Yeah.
He's in his prime, he was insane.
Yeah.
Right? But when he came to the Bucks, everyone was so happy. I remember hearing it and thought it was fake because the Bucks weren't even in talks for him.
Yeah.
From what we heard, he was going to the Heat.
Yeah.
Now looking back at it, I probably wish he would have gone to the Heat. No offense to Dame Lillard because we love what he did, but looking at it, Dame Lillard comes in. First year, I'm okay with.
Yeah.
He did good. The Bucks injuries plagued them and they just struggled. They just didn't have the team.
Yeah.
Right? Now the next year they do good. They're in the playoffs. goes the Achilles.
Yeah.
And that's been a common theme. We saw Halliburton, we saw Tatum, we saw, going different sports. We saw Rodgers, we saw Cousins. Like, this is a very common injury.
Yeah, and especially nowadays.
Yeah, so Dame Lillard now out for most of next season.
If not all. If not all.
Right, what are Bucks gonna do? Free agency starts. I remember looking at my phone, I get an alert. Miles Turner signs. I'm like, oh, yeah, he signed back with the Pacers, nothing crazy. And then I just keep reading, I'm like, leaves Pacers. I'm like, whoa, where did he go? The Pistons or something? Because I saw that
Yeah.
Pistons were
Yeah, Pistons were
interested.
interested in him.
And then I see the Bucks. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Right? And I'm reading more, and he's getting paid just over $100 million for 4 years. He's 29 years old.
So roughly like $25-ish million.
Right. He's been in the league for 10 years. He is on the Bucks' most hated team, right? The Pacers. We hate the Pacers as Bucks fans.
Yeah.
And Miles Turner is one of the guys we do not like at all.
No. Well,
So
I mean,
I would say that because let's be honest, he was a huge reason why the Bucks have been eliminated
yeah.
in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. I definitely don't hate Miles Turner as much as Tyrese Halliburton. I really don't like Tyrese Halliburton. Like,
Yeah,
I'll praise Tyrese. I'll give Tyrese Halliburton his flowers when he deserves it, but
he does deserve it because he's done great.
yeah, he's done great. But Miles Turner, I don't hate as much as Tyrese Halliburton. I don't. Yeah.
Right.
You get what I mean.
Well, anyways, they bring him in, and I read this contract. I'm like, oh, where are we getting all this from? Because we're already on contract troubles. That's why last year we really didn't do much besides bringing in guys like Gary Trent Jr., Torian Prince, not really turning the needle, as Andrew would say. And then 7 minutes later, we see Dame Lillard is waived by the Bucks. I'm like, hold the phone.
Like that was the most confusing part of all of this. Like, yeah, like the Miles Turner move, like it's a good move. Like we brought back Bobby Portis as well.
Right.
We brought back Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent Jr., Double G.
Because right now, Miles Turner is better than Brook Lopez. We can agree.
Yeah.
And he's 8 years younger.
Yeah, Brook Lopez went and got himself $9 million per year with
congrats.
The Clippers.
Right? Now,
golf clap to Brook Lopez because we love Brook Lopez. He did great for us.
Andrew doesn't like the Dame Lillard cutting thing. All right, I'm gonna give my perspective on it.
Yeah.
All right. So we cut Dame Lillard. Obviously, we still got to pay him his $212 million, I believe.
Yeah.
So what happens is we pretty much bought out his deal, which means over the next 5 years we are going to be paying him around $25 million to not be with us because we don't want him anymore.
Yeah.
All right. With all due respect, he's filling up a roster space. He's drowning us in money. And if we wouldn't have cut Dame Lillard, we would have had to pay all $212 million in 2 years. That means we wouldn't be able to do anything to surround him and Giannis. And Giannis's contract's up in 2 years, which means we would probably lose Giannis because we haven't won a championship.
Yeah.
So getting rid of Dame Lillard allows us to make moves to try to re-surround, because we've already tried to surround Giannis with the guys to win. It didn't work the first time. Hopefully it works the second time, right? So we try to surround Giannis. Obviously, Giannis wasn't happy because his best friend's Dame Lillard, right?
Yeah.
Dame Lillard gets cut, and then you bring in a guy who's beat him and eliminated him from the playoffs, humiliated him in the playoffs, him and his teammates, and then you bring him in and ship out his best friend.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's going to be some issues with that, which you never want to have your superstar be unhappy.
No.
So I'm thinking, because they also did trade Pat Connaughton. Congrats to what he's done for us, but we needed him out. His contract was huge. We literally had to pay the Hornets to take him.
Yep.
And to me, that is a sign that more moves are coming. And we couldn't do those moves without getting rid of Dame Lillard.
Yeah.
Andrew, why do you think we should have kept Dame Lillard?
I think, honestly, keeping Dame, like, from a personality, like, from, kind of the mentality side of things, Dame brought good performance from three, and he made Giannis happy, it gave Giannis a friend, because quite honestly, Brook Lopez was there, Chris Middleton was there, and we already saw them kind of dump off Chris Middleton for Kyle Kuzma, and it was really Dame and Giannis at that point, and they were the two guys leading the show. And when you get rid of Giannis, like, if I was in that scenario, if, like, Miles was cut from the podcast. Like I'd be really sad about that, you know?
Yeah.
So just kind of make it more relatable there. But I just really hated it for the Bucks just kind of having to force to do that. Like honestly, they weren't even forced to do that. They could honestly have tried to, just let Dame rehab, bring back guys like Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent Jr., Torian Prince, bring back Bob. Like I feel like they could have brought back
Well,
Bobby.
here's the thing. Like, it didn't work the first time. It's not gonna work again.
Like we only gave it two. I mean, we gave it 2 years, but like I don't know if that's like enough
It's
time.
not even the Dame Lillard thing. You're pretty much saying keep Lillard, even though he's gonna be hurt most of the year, and just bank it off of the guys we have right now. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But
It just feels like it was kind of wrong for like it was confusing. It was just overall really confusing. Like from my like what Miles said was confusing, and I really I don't know. Like I feel like we could have done something along the lines of get someone who can fill the role of Dame Lillard for most of the year, like for Cameron Payne, for example. Prime, I say prime, but above average Cameron Payne. I
yeah,
think like kind of make him fill the role. Get Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent Jr., or Cameron Payne. Like those three guys kind of play the role of the two, one and two roles, and then Kyle Kuzma or whoever we bring in there, because there's some other rumors there, Giannis, and then
right.
Bobby, or you just bring
Well,
in someone else to play center.
speaking of the rumors, because we got to keep moving. Jonathan Kuminga. All right.
Let me finish, bro.
We gotta move. We're already at 26 minutes. We
Let
got
me finish my little spiel here.
Dame Lillard's gone. We can agree. He's
Yes,
gone.
I think just it doesn't make me happy, and it doesn't make any Bucks fan happy that you bring in Dame Lillard and Miles Turner. I don't, business
I,
wise, it was a good move, but
yeah,
mentality wise, no, it wasn't a good move. And
man,
I'm gonna
I'm okay with this move.
I, for the if it wins us a championship, then at the end of the year I'm gonna say I was wrong. The Bucks made the absolute right move, but
Yeah.
I feel like right now we could have made a different move that would have benefited all.
Would you have rather kept a 36-year-old guy with a torn Achilles for the whole year?
I mean, the Mavs are doing the kind of same thing with Kyrie.
The thing is, sometimes like what if his play's never the same, right? What if his 3-point shot is brick city now,
Yeah,
right?
that's all a possibility.
Like you gotta. There's so many different things, but
Yeah, I don't,
we need to move on.
yeah, it's just overall really confusing. But
All right,
thank you Dame for everything you did for us. But
in
moving
2 years.
2 years.
All right. So I, as I was saying, I think the Bucks are going to make another move. I'm my first thing is Cam Thomas. I want Cam Thomas. He's an elite scorer. Defense is all right. Scoring offense is what he has. That may be a little bit scary because we need defense, but if we could sign him, that'd be huge. He's a restricted free agent with the Nets right now. Jonathan Kuminga, on the other hand, there are a few teams who have been listed as in trade talks for a sign and trade deal. All right, here are the teams: the Sacramento Kings, the Miami Heat, the Chicago Bulls, the Brooklyn Nets, and the Milwaukee Bucks. All right. So Jonathan Kuminga averaged 15 points per game, barely got any playing time on that stacked Warriors team. And right now, from what we're hearing, he wants money. He wants to be the third highest paid player on the Warriors, and the Warriors aren't going to be doing that. So, what are you thinking? What would you say if the Bucks traded for Kuminga?
Well, that'd be great, and I know that trade would involve Kyle Kuzma, and I don't I kind of like Kyle Kuzma. Like I feel like he's a good player, but
Yeah,
he's not to the level of Jonathan Kuminga, or what the potential Jonathan Kuminga could have is
I agree.
much higher than Kyle Kuzma.
I agree.
Kyle Kuzma's floor is a little bit higher, but I would honestly take the potential of Jonathan Kuminga over the floor of Kyle Kuzma
Kyle
at this
Kuzma.
point.
Yep.
So I would like that trade. I think it would make a good move, but there's a lot of things that can happen, and I'm really if we could get Kyle Kuzma off the books and maybe bring in Jonathan Kuminga would be kind of a cool move. Be a cool
That'd
move.
be a cool move. I would agree that that'd be a cool move. And I think, would you be happy with our big three being Giannis, Miles Turner, and Jonathan Kuminga?
I would really like that. And you have the supporting cast of Kevin
Great.
Porter
Yeah, you
Jr.
have a great
and
supporting
then
cast.
Gary Trent Jr., Torian Prince, Bobby Portis. Like that's a solid team. Is it championship winning? I'm gonna say it's like it's on the fringe. It's on
Oh,
the fringe.
Andrew, you know what would make that team championship?
What?
If you had a guy like Russell Westbrook or Chris Paul.
Ooh, I don't.
I,
I would love those moves. I would love those
I
moves.
would love those moves
Don't get
too.
me wrong. I would love those. But can we really command the salary of Russell Westbrook, Jonathan Kuminga, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and then Miles Turner? Like, I really don't think we can. Like,
True. But Chris Paul, 40 years old. He's all he does is pass the ball now.
yeah.
All right. So could we have
Like, if we bring in Chris Paul, like for cheap, like $5 million, like say we would do that, I think
oh,
that's a deal.
I
That's a
am
deal.
down
Like,
any day.
yeah, that would be a deal. So if we bring in Chris, I would say Chris Paul, like out of those guys, is the most realistic option. I would say.
I would be happy with Chris Paul.
Yeah, and then the other guy, Cam Thomas, like
Cam
I
Thomas.
would love personally if you have Cam Thomas. I think Cam Thomas, we can agree, is probably better than Jonathan Kuminga at this point.
Right now. Yes, I think Kuminga may have more potential.
Again, like they bring different skill sets. Like Kuminga's a forward, Thomas is a guard who shoots.
Right.
Like I feel like
I mean, they're both in their early 20s.
yes.
I'd be happy with either of them. I'd be
Yeah.
happy with both of them, but obviously we can't do that because Adam Silver doesn't like super teams. Speaking of super teams, me and Andrew have been talking about a former super team, and it was really the last super team that
Yeah.
sucked. The Brooklyn Nets, baby. 2021 Brooklyn Nets with Kevin Durant. Congrats on getting traded to the Rockets. James Harden, big boy. They had Kyrie Irving,
As well.
knee man. We'll call him knee man
Call me.
because his knees are gone. And my man Blake Griffin. That's four.
I mean, Blake Griffin was kind of off the bench, you know.
But still, Blake Griffin. I feel like Blake Griffin against the Bucks was good.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you have anything else to add to anything?
Not really. Oh, Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal.
Oh, I forgot to. I didn't see that at the bottom of my page there. So, I'm going to explain what's going on. So, as I explained with the Dame Lillard contract buyout, that means that the contract's getting stretched. They're still getting all their money. The Phoenix Suns right now are in talks with Bradley Beal to have a contract buyout where it stretches his contract over a 5-year period, and he would become a free agent. Bradley Beal to the Bucks, baby. That could be something.
And then at that point, you kind of push the Kuminga and Thomas rumors and kind of push that all away. And then you kind of would have, you'd probably have whoever we're going to have at point guard, probably Kevin Porter Jr.,
Yeah.
Bradley Beal, maybe Kyle Kuzma, like depending on what the books will look like,
Yeah.
Giannis, and then Miles Turner. Like that's a really solid team.
Yeah, to me, Bradley Beal is the last resort.
Yeah, I would say that's last resort.
I need to see Bradley if Cam Thomas signs and if Kuminga gets traded somewhere else. Then we need to go on for Bradley Beal, right? And I think we could have something good there.
I think that would be a great starting five. And then you got Bobby Portis. Yeah. So either way, there's all the NBA rumors. There is all the Brewers news that I kind of got to cover. It's not a lot, but there you go.
Bit of a boring episode coming off of our exciting one.
Yeah, but don't worry. More exciting episodes are yet to come.
Yes.
Go check out Talking NASCAR on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Go check out Talking NASCAR wherever you get your podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah, and we're gonna try to get a few more guests on the show and see what happens. We'll get a few more guests, and please leave a comment. Whatever you liked, whatever you didn't like, whatever you want us to talk about, let's do it. See you guys.
We'll see you guys. Bye.